Is that what I've got to do? It's recording on OBS. Come on. So you going, mate? Have you got coronavirus yet?
No, not yet. I'm healthy.
I still haven't got it.
Yeah.
I had a bit of I had a sniffle the other day, and I blew my nose, and it's gone.
I do that every so often, and I'll be like, oh, this is it, and then it doesn't happen.
Okay, looks like we're ready. Click here to start streaming.
Okay.
Going live. Now, once I've got that done, I've got to get the bloody game set up, haven't I? Oh, we're live, apparently.
Excellent. Welcome, everyone, to Fergo and the Freak. My name's Andrew Ferguson, and today I'm joined by the glorious League Freak. How are you, League Freak?
But that was a fantastic intro and completely professional. We know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
And don't anyone try and fucking prove us wrong.
Bunch of bastards.
By the way, I'm not going to be doing any swearing in this episode.
Yeah, I'm going to not swear either.
Fantastic. Look at that. We're family friendly. Now I'm going to get the game up on you for you, haven't I?
Yeah. But can we have the game... We can do the game up on here, and I can watch the game, but it won't be broadcast, will it?
No, I can turn the music off, so you'll see it, but no one else will.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Sounds like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty.
Check out what we're doing on... I'll look at my YouTube on my phone.
Start sharing.
Fergo.
This is some professional setup shit we've got going on.
Ooh, look at this.
How's
We're 4
that?
minutes in already.
Silky smooth?
Yeah, it's getting a bit choppy.
A bit choppy?
That's a tad.
Now, we've got a few things to discuss today. We'll get into them shortly. We're not going to rush into this. We've got a fair bit of time to kill.
Yeah.
We can tell you, this game's been going on for 3.5 minutes already, and no one's done anything. Aaron Woods has managed to put on sticky tape around his head, which is a pretty good achievement for him.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's he's cutting his hair, hey?
Yeah, he's just dropped a little bit of an elbow and a shoulder into a Storm player there, but because it's a Storm player, that's legal and allowed. And I think the referee should be chastised for calling a penalty on that. Yeah.
I look forward to the Daily Telegraph article about the Storm player attacking elbows with the back of their heads.
Yes. Did you see yesterday Paul Kent came out and he gave Peter V'landys another love letter about how great he is?
I saw that he saved Rugby League. He's only been in the job for, 3 months or something?
He's the greatest thing that ever happened to the game, other than the game itself. And even that's still up for debate at the moment with Daily Telegraph. You know,
they should just call it Peter V'landys League.
Well, I'm wondering how much longer he's got to be around before they decide to rename the Dally M medal, I guess, the Peter V'landys medal, the Peter V medal.
The Peter V.
Hey guys!
The Peter V. That'd be good. Hello.
We've got a special guest here.
Hello, it's special guest.
Sounds like Sharks fan.
This one here.
We're just we're waiting for Melbourne to get smashed here.
Yeah.
There's a penalty because the Melbourne players having a cry.
And here comes referee Cameron Smith having a chat.
Whose ground is this at? Who's the home team?
This is Cogra.
Well, this is the interesting thing about today. It hasn't been advertised, but it should be called Super Gypsy Saturday because the 3 home teams are not playing at their usual home grounds. The Warriors had a home game at the Gold Coast Titans Stadium. We just saw the Roosters have their home game at the West Tigers home ground, and now the Sharks playing their home game at the Dragons home ground.
It must be really cool for the Cronulla Sharks to play a game at a home ground of theirs that is actually historic.
I don't know that they really care, to be honest. I think there's a few of the older, longer-lasting Sharks fans who take pride in the fact that their existence in the game came at the same time that the Dragons' premiership run ended.
Yeah, the 11 in a row choking. That's why they call it Coca-Cola.
So he's old man Smith. He didn't want to play.
He didn't have a shave
He's
either.
scared of coronavirus.
All-time great.
And
he slots the 2.
Trust me to come in and interrupt you guys when Melbourne gets a penalty.
Which family's that?
Yeah, you do that.
How come all of these families have the most...
It's like Gogglebox, isn't it?
They've got the most barren household living rooms there is.
Yeah, where's your Sharks merchandise? That flag's pathetic. Where's your Andrew Eddinghausen cardboard cutout?
Where's the pizza? These people aren't even trying.
Who was that?
We just had an arse turn up. That was interesting.
Just an arse.
So, Cameron Smith kicked a goal. And we're back on the way.
Hey, we missed you, Freaky. We were in Sydney last week.
Yeah, I heard that you were doing the coronavirus tour. Was it nice?
Yeah, we did. Hygiene, sanity, all covered.
We didn't get any show bags, unfortunately.
No freebies.
I was hoping to get a coronavirus bag with a roll of toilet paper and a bag of flour in it.
Free tickets to Italy.
No face masks.
Oh, look at this. The Storm looks like they're on a bit of a roll here.
Yeah, they're trying to play pretty fast.
The footage I'm seeing, it looks like it's been played with the strobe light on. I can still make it out though.
No, I think it's a bit jumpy, and I don't know if that's your internet's fault or mine. I think it might be mine.
Yeah, I've got no idea. It's all right. I can make it out though. It's still make-outable.
Oh, that's good. That's what she said.
Yes.
Nice take there by young Kennedy. I've said it before. He looks like a young Valentine Holmes.
He does, yeah.
That's not saying Valentine Holmes is old, by the way.
No, he's a young one.
Plenty of work on the necks there by the Storm players. Nothing new there. Cameron Smith not doing the hands in the air properly. You'd think after all these years he'd know how to do that properly.
Yeah, got to go straight up in the air. Still was able to see him.
He did it properly there. But hands to the side, Cameron, that doesn't make you invisible. Oh, what a flick
nice
pass.
pass out the back.
Pity the kick was shit.
I kicked it straight to the full back. Unlucky.
He's looking good, though. Well,
so who do we like in this game? I tipped the Storm, obviously.
Well, I've picked the Storm as well, but geez, I tell you what, I would absolutely love it if they lost this.
What's that?
I just like seeing Melbourne lose, and you don't get to see it very often.
Oh, that's a good hard run.
He's run onto that from a mile back. These Papua New Guineans are absolute beasts. I love them. There's the fullback Hughes playing at halfback.
They're looking dangerous, eh?
They are. They seem to be have their combinations working well. Munster with a goose.
Oh, straight through.
What a grubber.
Nah, the kick was the wrong option. Why didn't he go himself?
He could have just ran.
Yeah.
I was just more amazed that he kicked it back across the line there. Now,
did you see in last night's game that Wayne Bennett sat behind the goalposts?
Yeah, I was speaking to the missus last night about it. I said, when do you reckon the last time was that Wayne Bennett actually sat in the stadium at Lang Park?
Yeah, like, even just... Because he wouldn't have done it for an Origin game, right? And he wouldn't have done it for a Broncos game. And since he's left, he wouldn't have done it. So, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, all right? Because the view from where he's sitting is actually really, really good. Like, it's great. Suncorp Stadium's great like that. It must have been a little bit freeing. He must have been like, let's go and sit down there, because this is something we might never get to do again. It must have been really cool for him.
I reckon so. Mind you, the atmosphere would have been about as enthralling as a conversation with Sam Burgess.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
He had to endure for the entire night, which is no reason, no wonder that Wayne got up with about 5 minutes to go and said, "Fuck this, I'm done."
Just left.
He just walked off and just left Sam there yapping away, saying something, couldn't understand it.
The Broncos should have won that game by 20 more points, I reckon.
Absolutely. That was the thing. That was one of the hardest tips for me to pick. But man, they look so much better, and South just look. Their attack is not clicking. I saw there was some comments by Phil Gould saying that Latrell Mitchell is not even NRL standard at the moment, not ready for fullback, and I thought that was harsh.
Yeah,
I don't think he played brilliantly, or even great, or
No.
he was like okay.
Yeah.
But given that he's only been at the club for 2 months, man, he's still got combinations to work out and stuff yet. I don't think he's playing that bad. He cleaned up pretty well at the back, saved a few hairy moments there.
I think what he needs to do is he needs someone to say, look, you want to be a fullback, own it. Like, if you want to be the superstar, walk out in the field like you're the superstar fullback and play that way. Because I feel like right now he's hanging back a little bit and he's trying not to make mistakes, and that's not what you want from him. You want him to get in, to call for the ball, to be out in the back line and, you know, be the playmaker. And I just think that he's hanging back too much. But I also think that I think that he's carrying too much weight, and I've talked about this before, and I don't think it's fat or anything. I just think he's too big a dude at the moment. I think he needs to drop some muscle mass to be able to play the full 80 at fullback.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Cody Walker's not the sort of 5'8" who's going to help him get involved in the game, because Cody Walker's a bit of a free spirit as a player. Whereas when he was at the Roosters, he had genuine creators like Luke Keary and Cooper Cronk to bring him into the game at the right time. And that's another thing too. It means that he has to kind of look for the ball more, which is he didn't have to do that at the Roosters. He just had to wait until they gave the ball to him. So that's something he's got to learn too. But I don't think these are things that are going to take him a long time to figure out.
No, he's too good a player. And look, I had a fucking conversation on Twitter today about this.
I did see.
I had a Tigers fan.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a Tigers fan. Let me pull up his name, right? Because I said I'd talk about it. Oh, man, I'm on the wrong account. Hang on. Just let me get off Phil Rothfield account and go to... Okay, so it was oval-shaped object.
Yeah, I know of him. He's not too bad. He does have some good... wisdom and intelligence on the game.
Now, he said basically that, like, I didn't know what I was talking about, and that all of the bagging that I did of the Tigers about not getting Latrell was shown to be wrong because of how Latrell's playing, and that he was basically happy that they'd gone in a different direction and stuff like that. That's a different point of view. That's fair enough, right?
Yeah.
But the way I see it, and he actually likened it to an NBA trade. Would I trade Latrell Mitchell for Adam Dewey and Joey Leilua? Right? I would do that in a second because I always want the talent. Okay, and that's what I said to him. I said, if you've got a chance to get a talent like Latrell Mitchell, you get it, and you worry about all the other stuff later. And that's kind of what Souths have done. They've said, look, we're going to get the talent, and we'll worry about teaching him because, which is fair enough, right? But then he said that Latrell is unfit. And look, I don't know that Latrell's unfit, but I'm willing to go along with it. And he was saying how many great players have been unfit. So it started getting me thinking about players that were really good that had a gut, okay? Yeah. So I wrote down a list. So let's go through my list. Okay. So, now, this isn't somebody that's shaped like a Shane Webke. This is someone that you could legitimately say had a gut. Really good players.
Okay.
Tony Carroll, right?
Yep.
Chris Close. Andrew Vardy, Mark Riddell, Conrad Harold. That's where I stopped because I got distracted.
See, I was thinking the one that sticks out for me that we heard every single time was, you know, every off season was Greg Inglis is overweight and he's unfit, and then round one would come around and you go, oh, he probably looks a little bit big, and then he'd just rip teams apart and you go, yeah, who cares?
Yeah, and look, I always used to say with Greg Inglis, and I think I've written a couple of articles along these lines, I don't want Greg Inglis at his physical best in March. I want him at his physical best in September. And, you know, Greg Inglis only had to drop about 5 kilos during the season, and he did it every single time.
Yeah, I suppose the other one might be in. Did you have Andrew Fafita, did you say?
Yeah. Had Andrew Fafita, yeah.
But I think some of these players are just absolute freakish talents, and that's why I'm happy to forgo them if they've got a little bit of extra love meat around the handle, around the gut region.
Love meat. Oh man, love meat. That's fantastic.
That's all it is. That's coming from someone who has a few kilos of love meat around too.
Here's the thing. I think, because I've been thinking about this today, I wonder if we've been spoiled the last, say, 10 to 15 years with freaks who were able to go from the outside backs into fullback and make it look easy. So like a Billy Slater, right? He went from being a winger to being a great fullback, one of the great fullbacks. Then you get someone like a Greg Inglis, who is a top 5 athlete of all time in rugby league. He makes it look easy. And I wonder if some of these switches that we've seen have just spoilt us.
It's possible. I mean, even Tedesco started as a winger. He spent nearly a full season as a winger.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite possible, and that's the thing too. The fullback role did change a fair bit in the 2000s and 2010s. They stopped being just a bloke who did heaps of kick returns, and they started being that ball player, thanks largely to Billy Slater and what he did to the game.
Yeah, exactly, and Darren Lockyer as well.
Yep.
But look, there's another one just off the top of my head. Anthony Minicello, he started as a winger as well.
Yep. Valentine Holmes.
I do like Valentine. Well, the thing about Valentine Holmes is, and he was also another one of these players. I wonder if all of these players that we named that went from being outside backs and wingers to being great fullbacks, and like we're talking about some of the greatest fullbacks of all time. I wonder if that has spoiled us for thinking that it's a natural transition when, in fact, it might just be that we've seen some all-time greats do it, and it's not actually as easy as we expect.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah, something to think about anyway. But, yeah, look, I stand by what I said for the Tigers. I think if you've got a Latrell Mitchell, anyone else the fullback spot?
Well, for me, I know some people think that we were chasing Latrell Mitchell. I know some people were thinking we were chasing Latrell Mitchell purely to play fullback, but kind of like with South, if he had have failed at that role, he could have easily gone back to
the money. Yeah.
What are you doing, man? You're dropping out.
What are
Hello?
you about?
This is brilliant technology. How you going there? You still around? Oh, we've lost the freak. Well, as I was saying before, he disappeared.
No.
I was just saying that...
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I was just saying a lot of people were suggesting that with Latrell Mitchell at the Tigers, that he was going to be bought specifically to be fullback. Same thing as South's done. But they do have an option, albeit a poor one, if it hadn't worked out, and they was just put Mbai back at fullback, and Latrell can go back to centre. He's still going to get good value out of him. Yeah,
exactly. Just get the talent and worry about it later. Yeah. That's exactly what that is. I look at someone like, and it hasn't worked out for them, but Brisbane, I think, did a similar thing with Jack Bird. They saw the talent and they were like, let's get him here and worry about it. No, unfortunately, Jack Bird hasn't been on the field very much.
Yeah.
But, I think that if you get a top-of-the-line player like Latrell Mitchell, especially for his age, and the fact that he's a goal kicker, that's huge in the NRL.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Tigers needed both. But they didn't have a genuine goal kicker. Benji Marshall's back kicking goals now for the first time since the war.
He's kicking goals again like it's the Blitz.
Yeah, he's just nailing from everywhere. So it's I still think I don't really care either way. I would have loved for Latrell Mitchell to turn up to the Tigers because they never seem to get one of those X Factor type players. So it would have been good to get one at last. But at the same time, we didn't need him at the same time. We needed a hooker. We never bothered to chase, and we needed front rowers.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'll ask you, would you trade Joey Leilua and Adam Dewey right now for Latrell Mitchell right now, playing out of form?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd put Latrell at centre.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I'd still play him at fullback and see how he goes. I think we agree that he will work it out eventually, and if he does work it out, look out, it's going to be great. But, you know, I am worried about him at the moment, though. I think that his work rate as a fullback just isn't there at the moment. And I think it's just something he hasn't learnt yet.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest too. The last time he was playing fullback consistently and regularly was in the NYC under-20s, and that was not even close to this level. And so it's going to take a while to get used to that, especially when you've been parked out on the left, being fed the ball by absolute champions of the game whenever they felt like it. Mm-hmm. You just stand around like brown cows half the time there and just let the absolute legends hand you the ball whenever you need it, and you just do what you've got to do after that. To going around and having to do the huge amount of running required and playmaking that's required in that role. And he is capable of being a playmaker. He's played plenty of games at 5'8".
Yeah.
So I've got no doubt that he will make it work as a fullback. But it's one of those things where he's going to need time to do it. And do you waste a season letting him learn the role at fullback, or do you do something even more drastic and put him in Reggie's reserve grade and let him try and learn the role there?
Well, they're not running reserve grade at the moment.
No.
So
but I mean, for argument's sake, if it were running, what would you do?
If I feel like with because it is a bit of a delicate situation. I mean, this is a superstar that wanted to change positions, and that was one of the motivators for him to move. And South said, yeah, we'll give you the keys to the fullback role. I think dropping him back to reserve grade, theoretically, would only work if you sat down with him and talked about it with him, and it was a mutual agreement decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, this
but
is the other thing
if he agreed to it, I think it would serve him well.
Bloody oath. The other thing that South could look at doing is having the fullback role played by two players, and that would be Alex Johnson and Latrell Mitchell. And that way, Latrell could ease into the role. He could do half the job, and Johnson could do the other half until Mitchell's fitness and match awareness, stuff like that, all is up to where it needs to be. And it wouldn't be that hard to do.
No, I mean, I think that last night showed, they do that switch pretty well. And Johnson, I mean, I've been pretty impressed with Johnson this year when he's played at fullback. But I really do. I think with their talent like Latrell, you give him enough time. You can't do it on 2 weeks. And you definitely can't do it with one of those games being against the Broncos team that just set you back on your feet. I mean, the Rabbitohs forwards were absolutely destroyed last night. So, all their backs were going to have trouble going anywhere. But, yeah, look, if he gets it together, you know that Latrell's going to be an absolute monster back there. It's just a case of giving him the time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree too. I think that's all it needs. He just needs a bit of time. He hasn't been at the club very long, so I think people just need to give him at least a month there and assess him after that.
So after a month, right? If he say he's doing this in 2 weeks from now, and he's had another game like this 2 weeks from now, what would you do?
Move him to centre.
I think I would too, and say to him, look, we need you to get your fitness up, and from centre, I want you running in field and looking for the ball.
Yeah. Come looking for the ball. That's the main thing. But yeah, that's what I'd be doing with him, though. Now, there was something else. Oh, yeah, I ran a poll.
Yes.
It's still running, so if you want to get in there and vote on it, you can still do that. and it was about the Warriors because during the week they decided that they're going to stay in Australia, and they're going to I suppose stay around for as long as possible to make sure the competition keeps running, unaffected by what they're going to do. Because there was talk that they were going to head back to New Zealand, and if they had done that, they wouldn't have been allowed to come back into the country, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to try and find the poll here now.
Yeah, was it on? No, it wasn't Fergun's Freak.
No, I was being selfish. I was doing it on my own account.
How dare you? Okay, I found it.
Oh, good. It's had a few votes. Can you tell me what's that?
Okay, so the first option was all Warriors, home and away, to be played in New Zealand in 2021. The second one, and that got 42% of the vote. That was the top vote getter. The second one was cash in the cap. That got 19% of the vote. The third one was extra pay to players, which got 37% of the vote, which was the second highest. And the last one was extra competition points, which only got 2% of the vote. 1,200 people voted on that. That's incredible.
Yeah, still going. I suppose to flesh it out a bit, when I said that all Warriors games home and away to be played in New Zealand in 2021, my idea behind that, obviously I ran out of space in the tweet, but all the away games will be played at other venues other than Mount Smart Stadium, but in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So just take it on a tour around New Zealand. And the only resistance I got to that option there was all of the Warriors fans in New Zealand in Australia wouldn't get to see them play. And I thought, but this is the point, because all of those fans in Australia get to see them play every game this year.
That's a good point. Well, they don't get to go to the game, so.
No, but I mean, it's not like they were going to them anyway. Why are they whinging now?
Maybe what you could do, just to tweak to that, is say, have a game in Brisbane, have one game in Sydney, and one game in Melbourne, because then you cover them three cities, but all the other away games go.
Make sure they play those. Make sure they play those three teams twice, so they still get to play them over in New Zealand as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would work. The cash in the cap idea was to, I suppose, give them extra cap allowance. So if they had players that wanted to go back home and knowing that they wouldn't be able to play for, between a few weeks and a few months, then the Warriors could sign up players to replace them just for this year so they could still field a competitive team.
Yeah, see, I don't mind the extra cap space for them. I think I would probably, if it's going back and forth. See, the thing I want to do is compensate the club. Like, I want to, and I feel like giving them extra cap room next season it's too short term for me. I want something where at the end of next year they kind of look at their bank balance and say, well, we're set up really well because of this year. Like I said in a podcast that me and Katie did the other day, I would not be opposed to the NRL giving them a $5 million grant just for this year, an extra grant of $5 million, because they need all the support we can give them.
Frustrating, isn't it?
It's just in the middle of talking about something.
Oh, I interrupted you guys. I didn't mean to.
It's fine.
It's all right. We were just talking about players' haircuts.
Did you talk about Rudolph's? He's got a nice set of hair.
No, we were actually looking at Cameron Smith. It looks like he's got a slice of round Devon on the back of his head. Have you noticed that?
Is there any Johnny Greco lookalikes?
How much would it cost for you to kiss the back of Cameron Smith's head?
Well, if I run out of food from the supermarkets, what?
It's 15 rolls of toilet paper. We use toilet paper as currency now.
Well, to give you an update on the game, there's 9 minutes to go in the first half. It's just been penalty goals. Sharks are up 4-2.
Nothing exciting's happened in this game, huh?
Not an exciting first
It's very
half.
similar to the Melbourne Manly game last week. There was nothing happening in that first half either. The worrying thing for the Sharks is the Storm were much better in the second half last week.
Mm.
And if that happens again this week, it'll be interesting to see if the Sharks can keep up with them, I guess.
There's some really good attempts to score tries, but they just can't get over.
Ooh, was that forward? It was. Yep. Morris with another forward pass. He did that last week and cost them the game.
Go to your team next week.
He's already throwing games for the Sharks.
He doesn't like being too far away from his brother.
No, he doesn't like
Close knit.
Other than all the years that he has been away from him.
Social distancing.
Yeah. It's funny how he likes to be away from his brother when he gets paid more, but then when there's a chance for him to earn more to be with his brother, he also likes that too.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation, that.
Mm.
Oh, is that your favourite ref there, Freaky?
He loves all the refs.
Oh, all the referees are my favourite referees.
Yes.
Especially Ashley Klein.
That's who I was referring to, Freaky?
Yeah. I don't rate Ashley Klein.
No, I didn't think so. I remember previous conversations.
Yeah.
That only went 2 metres forward. That's better from Morris. Has he been
Morris
hooked?
Is off.
He's been hooked.
Why is he coming off?
Mouth and off, I reckon.
Oh, he's not happy.
10 minutes in the bin for using profanity.
He's walking all out that tunnel, all the way to Carlton Station. He's going to get on the train to Bondi Junction, and he's not coming back. One-way ticket. He's not happy.
Surely he wasn't just sin-binned.
No, I think he was hooked.
That's crazy.
Swearing and muttering to himself and talking away. He was not happy.
And he went straight up the tunnel too.
Yeah.
Look at this! They've gone for the trick play, and nice covered up there.
Kennedy showing a bit of toe there to stay in front of Josh Addo-Carr.
He did good.
Clean pair of heels. We're going to get the cliches out of the way.
Yeah. It's not his go. Oh, wait. That's not for this one.
No, different one. The Bulldogs played the other night.
Yeah.
What do you think of Blake Brayley's hair? It's just so super smooth and silky, eh?
I'd like to run my fingers through it.
Me too.
Oh. Wait a minute. I sound like Andrew Johns when I say stuff like that. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh, jeez.
What is it with the Sharks?
Did that play on?
Play on and he
dropped
the ball.
That cold.
What the...
7th minute there. Jeez.
See, this is why you need crowds, because they would have just piped up and said, he's been doing it all day.
Yeah. Well, he's going for a one-on-one steal here,
no,
and he doesn't get it.
They're just having a little bit of a...
No, it wasn't.
A little bit of a whinge over the ball.
Wow, Morris was hooked. That's crazy.
Yeah. Jeez, this fella, he can't hold the ball, he can't keep his feet on the ground. Straight forward, that's the way to go.
I wonder what Matt Moylan's doing right now.
Watching at home.
He's on his lounge, probably pulling his other hamstring.
Oh.
It's amazing he got injured while he was on the bench for a trial game that he wasn't playing.
It's a typical Cameron Smith manoeuvre. Can we just go through? Seriously, Cronulla?
That's another forward pass.
Man.
That's good. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Ooh, that was close.
That would be good if he got it. I think that last pass might have been forward, though. There's the angry Fijian.
Vunivalu's definitely got something to say.
He signed for a sport that doesn't exist next year.
Pretty smart play, because he might still get the money and he can just come back to Rugby League anyway.
Imagine that.
Get paid twice.
I think he'll just be listed as a creditor.
The referee didn't put his flag up.
Did he call him for a shoulder charge?
No.
Didn't even go anywhere.
It is a forward pass because they've just had a turnover. Change over. There we go.
What was that game that we did last year, Andrew, that was just such a dog of a game?
Look, hang on.
Was it a Tigers game?
I can't remember.
Oh, what a hit. Wait, Graham, he just killed someone.
Good on you, Capitan.
See, this is the thing.
I love that sort of stuff.
You've got Jason Tormalolo. Wade Graham's my favourite player.
And Billy
Look at
McGillis
this.
has been on there.
Boom!
Yeah.
Right across his chest.
Oh, that is just fucking awesome.
That's what I love about good old Wade.
And then he just gets up and walks away. He doesn't sit over them and talk trash to them. He just gets up and walks away like, yeah, I'm doing this shit all day.
He's got another child on the way, so he's really pumped.
Fafita's growing a mullet.
He's not pumped anymore, though.
He's a changed man. Those days are past.
Yeah. I'm trying to behave. I cannot
see. Freaky's throwing the line out. He's doing a bit of fishing.
There's running hands through hair, pumped. What next, Freaky?
I'm trying to behave because we're live.
We are live.
There's Rudolph showing Aaron Woods how to run. Woods wasn't watching though.
Oh. Pass it straight to the Melbourne Storm 5'8".
That centre there, they should send him back to Newcastle.
Yeah, it's a bit not all right tonight.
He's been trash.
Remember when Sean Johnson used to be good?
Was that with the New Zealand Warriors?
I was in the nines.
Yeah, in the nines.
What sort of a play the ball is that? You're going to sit there and blame everyone for it, are you? You're an idiot.
You're dropped from first grade, mate.
See that? He got smashed by Wade Graham and then he doesn't know how to hold the ball anymore. Whoops.
Hey, try
Ton of wall.
Just love Rudolph's hair. Isn't it amazing?
He's still rattled. This Rudolph kid's got a bit of the mad Dane Laurie about him.
And where's Billy Magoulas?
He does, yeah, without the record.
Yeah. Like, he's got a clean record off the field, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Tackled in opposition 20. Sharks 13, Melbourne 2.
Oh.
Sharks have got all the field position,
Come on,
but can't get across the stripe.
You get
They
the
need
feeling
scoring.
that Craig Bellamy is going to just give them the biggest spray at halftime.
Oh,
Yeah.
You
They're gonna have to-
could see from the box.
They're going to have to rebuild the Cogger dressing sheds. It's going to rip them apart.
Just punch over.
Sharks.
He's back, he
5 metres
says.
out. Oh, he's not close.
Oh, is that him?
Close.
It is. Oh, come on.
Johnson drifting right. Long ball to no
where
one.
does the ball go? Seriously.
There's Mulatalo running back in field.
Oh!
Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting tackle. Pulled down by the back of the shirt.
Call that a horse collar in the NFL.
Oh, just come on, Graham.
Graham runs into one of his teammates because they were too stupid to get out of his way.
Go on, Sean Johnson. Pass it to someone.
Another
this time.
pass to no one.
Oh, this is
Johnson.
frustrating.
Johnson.
Listen.
See, this is the problem with
25%
Sean Johnson. He thinks he can throw no-look passes like Benji Marshall, but he fails to realise that half of Benji Marshall's no-look passes went into touch as well. And Benji's better at it than Sean Johnson is.
Yeah, but to be fair, 25% of Sean Johnson's passes hit their target 100% of the time.
I wonder what John Morris is thinking right now.
And that analyst has got really large glasses. It reminds me of one of the Thunderbirds.
Brains.
Yeah.
Brian, you knew his name.
Oh, never really was a fan of Thunderbirds, but I've seen enough Thunderbirds memes to know who he is. You know, the puppet on strings thing.
There's a reference.
You know
Oh,
who was
yes.
that?
Who was that? That's
Making
atrocious.
Oh, look at Bellamy's face.
Bellamy's gobsmacked.
It's like,
Bellamy's got... Oh, my God,
Sean Johnson.
3 in a row.
oh my God, this is painful to
What,
watch.
Morris got hooked after one forward pass and Johnson stays on the field after 3 debacles.
Even Craig Bellamy was blowing up at that drop ball.
Bellamy had that look on his face of, how the fuck am I going to punish that prick for that shit action?
Man.
And Johnson's like, fuck. I dudded the gun.
Are these people like a relative of a footballer or something?
I don't know. I want to know how you get in one of those rooms.
Yeah.
I want to have one of those cameras here, and then they can hear me doing the live podcast, and I'd just be dropping swear words the whole time. We're going to put this on Fuck Sports.
Fuck sports. I would look at Bellamy.
I like
wow,
what he
he's
fired
going to
up.
be so angry. I would wait until something really awesome happened, and then I would pretend I was doing lines of substances off of tables, like so they couldn't show it. They'd be like, "Man, best try of the game," and this dude's, doing this stuff.
I thought you might be trying to reenact some of Dylan Napper's best work.
No, I definitely would not do that. Oh man,
that would be entertaining though. Well, it's half time. Let's have a chat. We got some interesting content to bring up during the halftime break.
Yeah,
and it's about this NRL CEOs and chairman poll about the state of the game. And it appeared in the Sydney Morning Herald. What was it, a week ago or so?
Yeah, I think it was a week and a half ago. That was back when we could all be around people.
Yeah, back when we were civil and we were allowed to be humans and we didn't have to try and kill one another for fucking toilet paper.
Yeah, you could go to Bondi Beach and stuff.
Yeah, without being chastised by the media.
Yeah. Who are at Bondi Beach, by the way.
Yeah. It's called the Big Poll. And it's spoken to, 16 or 18, 20 respondents.
Yeah.
So we're talking big numbers here.
Huge.
First question, how would you rate your faith in Todd Greenberg to continue as the NRL CEO? Some faith, 44.4%. Complete faith, 5.6%. So, straight away, half of the bosses are happy with him to stay there, to some degree.
Yeah.
On the fence, 27.8%. Little faith, 11.1%. And no faith, 11.1%.
Okay, so that's pretty good for him, actually.
Yeah, I'd hate to see, I think, for someone in his role to be getting 100%.
Yeah.
I want to know that he's pissing some clubs off.
Yeah, exactly. It means he's universal. Look, and it's rugby league. Like, his job is to basically keep all of these clubs in line.
Yeah.
And so if they all like him, he's not doing his job.
That's right. How would you rate ARLC chairman Peter V'landys' first 6 months in the job, given that he'd done nothing in that period? Excellent, 55.6%. Average, 11.1%. And good, 33%.
And there was nothing for bad.
Poor was 0% and not good was 0%.
Okay. I like the way that they framed the two questions differently, like they gave you different options, hey?
Yeah, so the first one is about, I suppose, it's worded in a way so that you're considering whether you have any faith in Todd Greenberg instead of saying whether you think he's done a good job or not.
Yeah.
But it's completely open for V'landys.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you can say he's done an excellent job when, as you say, he hasn't done anything.
His first 6 months he did nothing.
Yeah.
Well, he did a press conference and talked about how he's going to take the game back to suburban grounds.
Yeah, and called it Rugby League.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was post the first 6 months.
You know, at least by this time, Peter Beattie had done like the Magical Mystery Tour. He was 6 months into it anyway. Yeah. Still had another few years of it to go before he left. He
also irritated Phil Gould. He irritated a few people at the Daily Telegraph, so that's ticked. What do you believe is the biggest issue facing the game right now? Number 1, future broadcast deal, 40%. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Player agents, 25%. NRL management and crowds, both 10%. CEO turnover, 5%. That's within the clubs. Salary cap and TPA legitimacy, 5%. And junior participation, 5%. That's how much grassroots they care about.
That's hilarious. It's interesting that the biggest issues in the game, and it's like, well, the money we get, that's the number one.
It's the money we get, then the money we have to pay out, then the money from the NRL, the money we get from the crowds, the amount of money that we spend on CEOs who leave, the amount of money we have in the salary cap and the third-party agreements, and then kids.
It's interesting that it's not terribly run teams are in there by their CEOs and chairmen, because that's probably the biggest problem in the game at the moment.
Agreed.
Is that we're spending $12 million on every single club, and some of them are run so poorly that even under a salary cap system, they can't make the finals every few seasons.
Question number 4. How would you rate the NRL's Simply the Best ad campaign? Excellent, 0%. Good, 40%. Average, 35%. Not good, 0%. poor, 25%.
Wow, a lot of them didn't like it. That's interesting.
Well, I think the majority of them are like, it's an ad.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. Do the ARLC and NRL executive team do enough to support the clubs? Yes, 21.1%. No, 78.9%. Wow.
My guess is that the 20 what is it, 21%?
21.1.
They're probably people that were only recently just employed by the NRL to prop that club up.
That's true. Titans members.
Yeah, Titans and Newcastle.
Question 6. Would you like the NRL to take the grand final on the road during stadium construction periods in Sydney? Yes, 50%. No, 50%.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I can't believe it's such a problem, hey? Like, I feel as though there's a worry that if we took one grand final to Brisbane or one grand final to Victoria to play it at the MCG, that we would forever lose the grand final from Sydney, and I just don't think that would be the case.
Of course it wouldn't. Look, this is the thing too. Being in this story, and you see how the game constantly took itself to new corners of the world all the time to try and spread the game. And, you know, kangaroo tours, lions tours, kiwi tours, that sort of thing. And all of a sudden we got to this point over the last 20 years, it's like, no, everything has to stay exactly where it is and never fucking move.
Yeah.
And they wonder why the game's growth has sort of stagnated somewhat, especially around Europe.
Yeah. Like, when you look through some of the venues that even the Kangaroos have played at, the Australian Kangaroos, like, there's some places in there that's unbelievable, really unbelievable. And as you say, I think it'll come in after Super League when everyone was ultra conservative in terms of the money that was being spent, because they had to be, because all the broadcasters who had raped and pillaged the game decided that they needed to get their chunks of flesh over the next 15 years, so they underpaid the game. I think it came in because of that, and it just hasn't left the psyche of the management of the sport.
I think you absolutely nailed it there. Absolutely. Can I just interrupt this poll here? Mm-hmm. Fox Sports just put up a thing saying first half highlights, and it just showed Craig Bellamy just bitching in the box there, the coach's box. And then when they stopped that footage, they then went to live footage of him in the dressing room, absolutely smashing his players in there. I went, that's actually quite accurate.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. That's, the first half was bludger. I think that this Storm team's going to come out in the second half and put one on the Sharks, eh?
Yeah, I think right there he's saying to them, if you don't get out there and pull your finger out, every single one of you are pushing the fucking bus home.
Or even worse yet, we're gonna go into the middle of Sydney and you're gonna shake everyone's hand.
Yeah, and then you're gonna lick every bus clean.
Yeah.
What's
Paul Gallen doing there? Why does Paul Gallen have to be there?
He's a assistant halves coach, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Should the NRL continue to pursue funds for Sydney suburban grounds? Yes, 75%. No, 25%.
I don't get that one. Why? Why would... I mean, obviously, if it's 75%, it's not just Sydney clubs have said yes. Unless they only just went to mostly Sydney clubs.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. This is the thing that doesn't make sense. If Landis wants to take the game back to all these suburban grounds, yet it's going to cost the game money and it's going to cost the clubs money to play there.
Yeah.
And as we know, he likes bitching to the media and to the government. Give me money.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate it.
It's weird. I don't understand it. Look, I think that there's a couple of grounds you could give upgrades to, and it would set Sydney for its stadium infrastructure up fine. But I mean, I'd be playing as many games at Parramatta Stadium, and the new ANZ Stadium at Homebush is going to be absolutely amazing. The new Sydney Football Stadium, I think, just it's always going to be difficult to get to, and it should only be a 30,000 seat stadium. But that's an interesting result to me.
Yeah. Question 8. Do you agree with the introduction of the Captain's Challenge? Yes, 65%, of course. No, 25%. 10% indifferent. Of course the clubs are happy with that. They get to bitch and moan about the referees a bit more and get away with it.
Yeah, because it's never their fault that they lose matches.
Number 9. Do you believe the NRL should add a new team or teams in the next broadcast cycle? I was interested in seeing how this one went.
Yeah.
Yes, 55%, no, 45%. And I thought the yes vote was probably about 55% higher than I thought.
Yeah, because, and I wrote about this years ago, that because there's 16 teams, as soon as you add another team, every team share in the NRL competition gets lower.
Yep.
And that's a problem. So, yeah, I'm surprised that it was that high. Look at the way that everyone's dragging their heels. I don't think we're in any danger of a team being added to the comp anytime soon, eh?
No, everyone is really dragging their heels. Really bad.
The last two ARL chairmen both come in talking about expansion, and then when they left, gave a big spiel about why we desperately need it. And it's like, why didn't you do this when you were in the role? And it just sums up the problem with the ARL at the moment.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not confident that Vlandis is going to bring it through in a hurry.
No, I wouldn't be shocked if he sat down with the North Sydney people one day and said, "Okay, tell me about Gosford."
We need to get North Sydney Oval back in use again.
Yeah, it's so magical, it's so wonderful, and yet when we were playing there, everyone used to say, "Oh man, this isn't a footy stadium. This is a frigging cricket oval. We need to get away from this shit." Even North Sydney did. That's why they started building up in Gosford.
Given Vlandis' love for suburban grounds, I reckon his idea for an expansion would be North Sydney and Newtown.
Bring back Glebe.
If the NRL chooses to expand, would you like to see a current team relocated? Yes, 65%. No, 35%.
Ooh, that's interesting. It's funny because it's always somebody else that needs to relocate.
That's right. And it's not expansion if you're relocating someone. You're just moving a team to an area that no one wants.
Exactly.
Do you believe there is enough depth in talent to support more than 16 NRL clubs? Yes, 40%. No, 60%. It's the best competition in the world.
Yeah.
Even our New South Wales and Queensland Cup players go over to the English Super League and their championship and play in those competitions over there. Of course we've got enough talent.
Well, you just got to look at the worst teams we've had the last few years. They've not been too bad for talent. It's just been other factors that have been a problem. And then on top of that, like we've seen a bunch of teams have really poor seasons and finish near the bottom of the ladder, and then have good seasons the following year and be up in the finals. So, the competition's very, very close, and it doesn't take much to go from being a bad team to a good team, and that would suggest that there's plenty of talent in the comp.
True. Except for the West Tigers.
Yeah, well, they don't like talent. They tend to frown upon buying talent.
Or success.
Yeah. Success is overrated.
Yeah. It's too hard. If expansion was to occur, which location should be the NRL's primary target? Brisbane 65%, Redcliffe 15%, Perth 10%, Ipswich 10%.
Sorry if them are Brisbane.
90% are Brisbane based and 10% is Perth.
It's so weird. It's weird that we've got two cities with 1 million plus people in them, and our sport is so rich that it can just say, nah, that's good, we'll just leave them there.
I like the fact that they think expansion means taking another team to a place where there already is one.
Yeah.
What's that
That's
expanding?
always good.
Do you believe there are too many NRL clubs in Sydney? Yes, 65%. No, 35%.
That's brilliant because you know what? If say the ARL said we are going to set an agenda whereby we are going to cull a Sydney club, they would all get voted out by the clubs. And not all of the clubs, just the Sydney clubs.
Yeah. None of them are going to go through with that. Would you support the return of Israel Folau to the NRL under strict conditions? Yes, 39%. No, 61%.
Yeah, until he says I'll go to their club, and then it will be 100%.
Absolutely.
I love it when they pretend that they've got a moral compass. It's so funny.
I love that. This one's interesting. Do you still support the NRL's no-fault stand-down policy? Yes, 80%. No, 20%. I dare say the Dragons are part of the 20%.
Yeah, I think so. That's higher than I thought it would be, hey?
Yeah, I didn't think the clubs would have been that supportive of it. If you could sign any player in the NRL for this season, including those at your own club, who would it be? At 22.2% was Tom Trbojevic. At 16.7% was Jason Taumalolo. 11% we've got Kalen Ponga, David Fafita, Nathan Cleary and Cameron Murray. At 5.5%, James Tedesco, Cameron Smith and Jake Trbojevic.
Some interesting ones there. I don't know why Tom Trbojevic would be that high when he's so injury prone, though.
Yeah, I think he's such a clean skin and such a nice sort of person. I think they're looking at both the on-field ability and the off-field package.
How about the fact that he was just off contract and they could have signed him?
That may have played a part. I'm surprised Cameron Smith's on there, given that he's 39 years old, wherever he is.
Yeah, it just shows you what he does for a club, hey?
Yeah. What was the next one here? Here we go. Should all players' third-party deals be made public? Yes, 65%, no, 35%. And I found that very odd.
That is a little bit strange.
I'm wondering if that's a vested interest by clubs to find out how much other players are earning that aren't at their club.
Yeah, I feel as though there's this big myth going on where it's like, oh, there's certain clubs that are getting all these third-party agreements and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, I just think it's an excuse.
Yeah, I think so too. This one kind of goes with the previous question. Should the NRL allow Jack DeBellin to play in the NRL in 2020 after sitting out an entire season under the no-fault stand-down policy? Yes, 21%, no, 79%.
Yeah, so that's, it's pretty close to...
Yeah, the other one was 2080, so it's pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
Would you support a transfer window? Yes, 80%, no, 20%.
We've talked about this. What does that even mean, a transfer window? It's just like this vague term. Enforceable
anyway. Clubs are still going to talk to other players and stuff like that outside the transfer window anyway.
Yep, 100%. 100%. And we saw it in Rugby League before they opened the doors because it was so ridiculous. And we see it in sport where they pretend that they don't talk to players and clubs, and then at midnight, as soon as the deadline passes, you get a bunch of, players signed contracts. It's just dumb.
I'd much
prefer the real life thing in Rugby League where it's like, yeah, they're talking. Everyone's talking all the time.
Exactly. I do wonder too if it would be a restriction of trade if you had them only being able to talk with players for a short period of time every year.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I also think too with Rugby League, a player has so many options, and if a player was worried about securing their long-term contract and their long-term security, and Super League comes along or Rugby Union or AFL or whoever and says, "Oh, we'll deal with you now. We'll give you the contract now." I think we'd see some players take that sort of thing up if they weren't allowed to sign with a Rugby League club until a certain date.
Yeah. Question 20. Would you support a standalone State of Origin period? Yes, 75%. No, 25%.
Oh, that's got a lot of support. I'm surprised by that.
Well, I think the reason being is that there's a lot of clubs, obviously, that provide players to State of Origin. So it would allow them to actually have their players play Origin, and if they get injured, they'd also have time to recover to some degree, and be available back again for club games and not actually miss any club games due to Origin representation and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that we're starting to... I mean, that sort of thinking and that push for, not ruining the NRL competition, I think it's really getting a lot of momentum the last few years. And, I think in 5 years' time it will be that way. We'll have State of Origin as standalone and... I think it'll be a good thing. I think it's where we're headed anyway.
I agree. Do you believe the NRL's current compensation system for players injured in rep footy is fair? Yes, 10%. No, 90%.
I mean, I don't know what the clubs want, really.
So I think the best way to look at this is with Kieran Foran. How he's going to miss an entire year because of an injury he got in rep footy, and he's on $1 million a year, but the club's only going to be compensated $350,000 of his salary. I say stiff. I mean, you can't. Injuries happen. And if you're willing to pay someone $1 million a year knowing that they could get injured, then that's a risk that club is making. You got to own it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And the other thing is too, what happens if you say you get $1 million off your cap and you go out and you sign 2 players, $500,000 players to cover Kieran Foran, and it would be, say you got 2 forwards, whatever, and then come September, Foran's ready to go. What happens then?
Exactly. Just watching some interesting play here. There's nothing going on. Anyway, should the NRL prevent players from earning more money at other clubs if they walk out on their deals? So this is kind of in response to Ryan Madison walking out on his deal at the Tigers to join Parramatta for a bigger coin. And the clubs say yes, 66%, no, 33%. And I have to say no, because that is going back to the clubs trying to, I suppose, determine how much a player should earn or not. And that should only come down to what clubs are willing to pay them.
I think I would say yes.
If Ryan Madison wants to get up and go to Parramatta to earn more money, so be it. At the end of the day, the problem Ryan Madison has is that tarnishes his reputation. Especially if you do it more than once. People are going to go, you're only coming here for the money? You had an absolutely stunning season last year. Why don't you just keep the money you're getting and see out your contract there and see where you can go with it? But instead he's gone, I want to get more money now because I'm able to. And it shows his mentality, and it makes clubs wary about signing him. And so I think players should be allowed to go and do that if they want. But the flip side of it is, it's their reputation they're putting on the line by doing it at the same time.
See, I like the idea that I think it would stop players looking for better deals elsewhere, or their managers anyway, looking for better deals elsewhere while they're under contract. But I also think there's the ability to put in some sort of mechanism that if, you can get a bigger contract at another club and leave early if you wanted to. But there needs to be enough of a disincentive for an opposition club to make that better deal as there can be. And I don't know how you'll do that, whether they've got to, allow the team that's losing the player to use some of their cap space or something like that, for the difference. I don't know what it would be.
I think the simple solution here is, we'll use Madison's case as a good example, is because he signed a 2 or 3 year deal with the Tigers and he's left after 1 year, the Tigers are still paying part of his contract at another club. And I say, scrap that. If a player decides to go to another club, either because they choose to or because the club scraps them, and another team picks them up, then that previous contract should be made null and void. That way, clubs aren't going to try and sign a player for let's say, $600,000 or $700,000, knowing they've only got to pay half that amount for them. You know, the club that's picking them up has to pay the full wage for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely needs to be a disincentive to do. What's that?
Oh, there you go. What were you saying?
It's a frustrating game.
Yeah, it is. It's shit.
Yeah, it is.
It's terrible.
That's why we're talking about something else instead.
We're basically ignoring the game at this point. It's 4 points all, and there's 31 minutes left.
No one's scored a try.
It's just terrible.
Yeah. And I mean, you can tell. I mean, listen to the crowd. They're just bored.
Yeah, what is it with Sharks fans not turning up to games, hey?
I don't know. Where are we up to here? What do you think of the length of the NRL season? Too long, 25%. Just right, 75%. Too short, 0%.
What was too long again?
25%.
See, I can't remember who I was talking to. It was either Katie or Julie I was talking about this. I think that if we see this season shortened, and I think everything's on the table still, but if we see this season shortened and it turns out that we play, say, a 16 to 20 game season, and it just happens to be absolutely awesome, I wouldn't be shocked if the season was shortened, hey?
Yeah, look, I've always said I think 22 rounds is the absolute sweet number.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way you can have the top 8 teams from the previous year play each other twice, and they play all of the bottom 8 teams once, and vice versa for the bottom 8 sides. And I think that would make for a pretty strong competition. And that's what we used to have.
Yep, I agree. I think 22 is perfect, and I would love to go back to that and open up that extra month for the rep rounds.
Exactly. Has there been an improvement in the refereeing over the past 12 months? Yes, 20%. No, 25%. Still the same, 55%. And I tell you what, that must disappoint a lot of the people in the media.
Yeah, I thought that we were supposed to be in the refereeing apocalypse right now.
Exactly. Should the NRL persist with the Nines tournament? Yes, 55%. No, 45%.
Well, they've just got to change it. It's just a start format. And it was when they brought it in. You know, NRL clubs only, you know, it's a ho-hum competition. Bringing in a bunch of new teams. That's what they need to do.
It's exactly what they need to do. And they need to have, the one this year was an absolute abomination because you were in pools of 4, but you only played 2 teams in your pool or some crap. It was just the dumbest thing ever.
Just stupid, yeah.
And it also makes it kind of unfair. So I'd be completely overhauling it. Bring in more teams. Bring in a heap of teams. And just play it over a few days. Don't just play it over a weekend.
Yeah,
have a real festival in the off season. Oh, watching the Sharks here. They're trying to throw the ball around. They've thrown it back to Vunivalu. And now Melbourne are on the attack with a full set 10 metres from the Sharks line.
We might see something happen.
That was absolute dead shit play there by the Sharks. I haven't seen anything that dumb in a long time. Papanersen tackled. Jeez, the Storm passing is very slow.
It is on my computer.
Still very shaky.
Oh, yeah. It's still the strobe light effect.
Oh, mate. Well, look, I'm glad you're not missing out on much here.
I know. As I said when the game first started, it's just at the level that I can make out everything that's going on. Oh, short side play!
And he's into touch.
He's into touch, damn it.
No.
Oh, no.
Come on, ref.
Wow, everyone said he was into touch except the ref.
Yeah. Crossfield kick.
Oh.
Surely there's a try there. No.
No, that was good defence.
That was good defence and a good offload back in the field of play. Pity it didn't go to a player, but god damn.
Yeah.
That's a worrying sign for the Storm. They had a full set 10 minutes from that Sharks line and couldn't get across.
They're missing Brodie Croft. They really are.
They really are. So yeah, that was that. That's the full amount of that CEO poll.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something about me says
It's an interesting one.
I'd like to see one where the players are asked the same questions.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think the players would go more along with what the sort of me. But for the most part, look, I think rugby league management is bereft of ideas these days. Hey.
Yeah. Yes. When the boss of the ARLC is pretty much just going with whatever ideas the Daily Telegraph dinosaurs put forward, it's a worrying time.
Yeah, and they're like the praise from all of them. It's like this over the top praise.
Yeah,
it's really weird, especially for a dude that's done nothing yet.
Yeah. I can't see why they love him so much, given that at this stage he hasn't done anything other than beg Paul, like, we need money. And I don't know how that gets praise.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I think, I've yet to talk to anybody that saw that and who wasn't embarrassed for the game seeing that.
Exactly. That was just horrible.
Speaking of horrible, this game, I think this is definitely the worst game.
It's pretty damn bad. I'll tell you what, the performance of both sides here...
A live episode 4.
There is one, and I think it was the Challenge Cup final last year, where we turned in expecting to watch St Helens annihilate whoever it was they played against, and they choked hard and played like dog shit. That was hard to watch.
That's right. That was the one. And they lost to the Catalan Dragons.
That's right. Was it Catalan?
I think so. I'm sure it was. Yeah, because Catalan Dragons took it back over across to Europe with them.
I thought Catalan won it the year before. No, it was Warrington. Catalan did win it in 2018, because remember, last year Catalan got told that they had to pay a certain fee to enter into the Challenge Cup in 2019.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I know.
Yeah, man, that shows how good a game it was. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because we had, who did we have on? We had Boogie Bumper on, and I think we just ignored it completely, didn't we?
Yeah, we were talking about American politics and all sorts of weird shit.
Yeah. Living
in Penrith in the 90s.
All exciting stuff.
I tell you what, people, if you think that sounds brilliant, go to our YouTube page, because that's where you are at the moment if you're listening to this, and go through the live episodes there. We've got a few playlists there. You can find it. It's a long bloody episode.
Yeah, was that the longest one we ever did?
It's bloody close, because it must have gone for 3 hours at least.
Yeah, because you know what? I feel like we did a 4.5 hour one. I feel like we did a double header.
You know what? It was because they had the 1895 Cup on before it, which was actually a better game. Or was that after?
Oh, that's right.
No, that was after.
That would have been an awesome try. But it wasn't.
So now I'm looking at the live chat on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to read out all the comments. And I'm done.
Oh, no.
Come on, people.
It must be really entertaining.
Come on, people. Ask some questions in there.
You know what it is? Because we're experts, it's just, there's no room to argue with us.
No, that's true. But maybe we can educate people.
Possibly.
Now, I am working on an article that will go up on my blog, and I'll pop it up on your website as well, whether you like it or not. It's going to be about how Rugby League responded to the Spanish flu in 1919.
Okay, that'll be interesting, actually, because, I mean, there's been plenty of journalists saying that this is something that Rugby League's never dealt with. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it has.
It has. And the Spanish flu was much more severe. As far as how rapidly it spread, how many people got it, and how many people died from it. So, in the 9 or so months that it was in Australia, nearly 4,000 people in Sydney died from it.
jeez.
Yeah.
Did you see how many people have died in Italy from this one that we're having now, the Corona one?
What's the figure up to now?
4,000.
It got horribly out of control there.
Yeah, and it's up to, worldwide, it's up to 11,000 deaths.
Oh, there's a try!
Try!
The Sharkies are in. Klein says, that's good enough for me. No, I don't want to see John Morris in the coach's box. I want to see Craig Bellamy right now.
Yeah, I wish they just showed him the whole game. That would have been better.
They need a picture-in-picture, and it's just one picture, just the camera constantly focused on Bellamy.
Yeah.
Look at that run by young Kennedy. That kid's a freak. He's going to be an absolute gun fullback in a very short period of time.
Yeah, that was nice stuff. That was very easy.
That's a Robbie Farah type kick, that one.
That is, yeah.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, the J-Mo's happy.
The J-Mo.
Brains is just looking at his computer.
Look at the Sharks fans at home. They're going off their heads.
I'll tell you what I'm looking at. It's that blind in the background they got from Spotlight.
Yeah, for like $8.99.
That's the one. It's
Pre-made,
always they only have them in cream.
Yeah.
And no wall in the world is painted the same colour.
The best part about that cream, though, is that it changes over time as the sun gets to it. It just gets darker and darker.
It does, yes. Oh, Johnson finally did something right. He kicked a goal.
Wow. Well, this game really livened up.
Certainly has. Look at that. Even the ball kids are wearing gloves. They're not half offside, are they? Sucked in for running offside too early, you idiots. Geez, Bellamy will be killing them.
They have been terrible in this match, Melbourne. Absolutely terrible.
Billy Magoulias. He played for Greece before he actually played in the NRL.
One of Greek Rugby League's greats as well.
Absolutely.
Not up there with Braithen Astor, who holds the world record with Ryan Girdler, but still.
Oh, jeez, Braithen Astor. What a record that is.
Not only is he the greatest equal point scorer in international rugby league history, he's nothing short of a wordsmith behind the mic.
You know what? My first comment about Braithen Astor this year was tonight on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was agreeing with him.
Oh, really? What did he say?
Okay. Manly had a situation today where they decided to use their captain's challenge.
Yeah.
And they were contesting against the knock-on against them. And the referees went, you know what? You're right, Manly. You didn't knock the ball on, but you did get held on the last tackle, so it's still a turnover and the Roosters still get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 2 minutes of time wasted for that whole process. And Braithen Astor said, if this continues like this is something that just needs to go. We can't have it in our game anymore because it's just stupid. And I went, yes, Braith.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with Braith.
Braith had a good off-season.
Yeah. I have yet to hear Braithen Astor's commentary this year because I don't have KO yet. I've got to sign up for KO. I was talked out of it by Julie, but I'm getting it this week as long as the NRL goes ahead next week.
That's fair enough. Now, the record that Braithen Astor holds. In 2013, he played for Greece.
Yeah.
Against Hungary.
Isn't it 46 points?
Correct.
Yes.
He scored 4 tries and kicked 15 goals from 15 attempts.
It's incredible.
That's just insane. Greece beat Hungary 90-0 in front of 1,013 fans in Budapest.
Wow. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Some good names there. One of the centres for Hungary is David Farkas.
Farkas.
Yeah. I'd like to see him playing in the NRL.
I really would too.
But yeah, Nasta. Absolutely. He just brained him.
Yeah, I guess the Ryan Girdler one was against Russia.
Yeah.
2000 World Cup.
So if you add that to his tally, I tell you what. We have 288 career games in the NRL.
Mm-hmm.
4 tests for Australia, 1 international for Greece. 10 Origin games, 7 games for New South Wales City. 22, that gives him 310 career games. Oh no, he had a World Club Challenge, so 311 career games.
Wow. Hey, you know what? I just realised that Braithen Astor averages 46 points per game when he plays for Greece.
Yeah, why would drop him?
Yeah.
You know what he is? He's the Jason Gillespie. Jason Gillespie scored a double century in his last ever test match for Australia in cricket.
Can you imagine how good the player was that replaced him?
Yeah. I don't know who it was.
Have you found the games played without crowds so far?
You know what? There's been 2 standout things for me that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
First one is you can hear what the players are saying on the field a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is on Fox Sports, they've brought back the action replay music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when a try is scored, they've got music being played.
Ah, that's interesting.
And that was the only thing that the Super League broadcast had over the NRL broadcast. But now, they're even. Now what we're going to do is just work on the music that they play. And they need to have music themed, and this is something we can discuss right now. Music themed for each club when they score a try. So,
Melbourne Storm has obviously got to be thunderstruck.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. I thought we'll go through the teams alphabetically. So for the Brisbane Broncos, what song would they have?
It's got to be what's his name? Genuine and My Pony.
See, I think I'm Paranoid by Garbage. for Anthony Seibold's team.
I think I like that one better, actually.
Canberra Raiders.
Ooh, any song from Frozen.
I like that.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs. I was thinking of Britney Spears song.
Definitely Dr. Hook, She Was Only 16.
I was thinking Britney Spears' song, Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one too.
The Sharks.
This is a good one. What about Dr. Feelgood?
I can't think of anything better. I like that.
Yeah.
The Titans.
Man.
I was gonna go with What About Me?
That's a good one.
It's just sad and whiny and about a loser.
I was thinking the song "Kickstart My Heart," which was about one of the band members who basically did coke and had a heart attack when he was really young.
That's not too bad either. Who's next?
Yeah.
Manly.
Ooh, Manly. Oh man.
So you could probably have down with the sickness to do with all the asbestos at the ground.
Yes, that one. Oh shit.
See, I'm gonna have to play this part back, and we'll put them all down and make a playlist for it. We could make our own Rugby League teams album.
That'd be great, and then we can get. If it's a playlist, we won't get struck. But yeah, we definitely have to do this.
Absolutely. Melbourne Storm.
Let me think. Melbourne Storm. Man, I don't know.
Okay, I've got one in line with Craig Bellamy, especially tonight.
Okay.
Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Okay, I like that. What about Prince, Diamonds and Pearls? That's
a good one. I do like that one. Who we got next? The Newcastle Knights.
Oh, that's got to be like some hillbilly shit.
The theme tune from Deliverance.
Yeah, just Adam too.
It's got to be played on a banjo too. Actually, doesn't matter what song you pick for them, it has to be played on a banjo.
Yeah, it could be any song just played on a banjo.
Yeah, like Happy Birthday, just played on a banjo.
Yeah.
That would work. North Queensland.
Ooh, It's got to be some country music shit.
I was going to say something else on a banjo.
Oh, shit. I would agree with that, actually, yeah. Let's just go another banjo one.
That would work. We'll think of songs later for this. If you got any ideas for those two, pop them in the comments, or you can send them to us on Fergo Freak Pod on Twitter. We'll discuss these at a later date. We also got Parramatta.
Parramatta, what would be a good Parramatta song? It'd be something 80s themed.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be relevant to when they were last good.
How about Ain't No Second Prize?
Yeah, I like that one, actually. That's a good one.
Because, damn, they know that more than anyone else does. Penrith.
Oh, man. Fuck. I swore.
Don't fucking worry about it.
I don't know. What do you reckon for Penrith?
The Storm have coughed up another try opportunity there. For Penrith, I think, given how many young players they've got there,
yeah.
If you're happy and you know
it. Or the play school theme.
The play school theme, that would work.
Yeah.
Very nah. The Dragons.
Puff the Magic Dragon, because they've got to be smoking something to keep giving.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. I don't know. There's no songs. There's no real songs out there about choking, is there?
Not that I can think of. What about because meth is a problem in Wollongong? What about just the Breaking Bad theme?
I'll tell you what, it's not just an issue in the Wollongong; it's an issue in the Dragons' boardroom as well. That will work. South Sydney.
Well, it's got to be the Gladiator theme, doesn't it?
Possibly.
I know that's easy.
It is a little easy. What else could there be? Maybe you could do the theme tune for Colgate.
What's that?
Toothpaste.
What's the theme tune for Colgate?
I don't know. Make one up.
Why?
Oh man.
What? I don't know. Why Colgate?
You know, with this South fan bashing thing, they've only got one teeth between them. They all live in a gutter somewhere.
Oh. Yeah.
Where have you been, man?
I don't know if they've got I don't know if they've got a theme tune, but would Polydent be as good for that as well?
That could work. Oh, the Storm have scored.
They scored. They broke the line. Well, he's going to look at it.
We're going to the box.
He's got to try. Okay, what are we looking at here? Is he looking at interference from the... Oh, there's nothing wrong there.
No, there's no interference there. He looks like he's got it down
yeah.
good. That looks fine to me.
Yeah, try. Does that come with Kamitha?
I think it was.
Yeah,
Come, yeah.
How good's that burger box look?
Tempting. I've not had KFC for 6 months.
That's good. That's good.
This is the worst part about watching the NRL is that fucking thing turns up every game. I'm like, oh, Jesus, it's only just down the road. Testing my willpower.
Every single friggin' game.
What are we up to? The Roosters.
The Roosters. I feel like chicken tonight.
I was thinking Money, Money, Money by ABBA.
Yeah,
Seems
that would
easy.
be a good one too, actually.
The Warriors.
Oh, man.
Maybe Weather With You by Crowded House.
Yeah.
It just sounds dreary.
What about and I don't know. It's an Australian song by an Australian band called Leaving Home.
I don't know that one.
Leaving Home. Life was never good to me. Something like that.
Okay. That could work. What else we got left? The Tigers. The Tigers.
Would be the Tigers one.
No one sings songs about 9. How about 99 Luft Balloons? That's got 9 in it twice.
Yeah. 99 bottles of beer on the wall. What about something about a bus?
A bus.
Yeah.
Venga bus?
I know. Roxanne. Because it's about a hooker.
And you can't understand what they're actually talking about.
Yeah.
I've got a good impersonation of Sting singing that song. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go.
That's pretty much it.
Excellent.
You don't try and form words, you just make sounds.
Yeah.
Matt, I've been doing that on the cabaret circuit for a few years.
Cabaret. Oh, shit.
There we go. Right, well, this game has been
my phone
fucking enthralling.
My phone keeps on... I keep on going to open my phone up, and it doesn't recognise me right now for some reason.
Oh, Jason phone Malolo is giving up on you.
Jason? Yeah, it's so weird.
Hey, should I add a bit of content for our Victorian viewers?
I don't understand. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. In the AFL at the moment, the GWS Giants leading Geelong Cats 73-43 in front of the usual GWS crowd.
You know they made big inroads in Western Sydney after making the grand final last year.
And getting caned in it.
Yeah, getting absolutely smashed. People forgot they even existed.
That's the thing. They brought out this thing about, no crowds this weekend. The GWS fans didn't get that message.
Yeah.
They're still there in their droves.
Oh, man. I love that team and that team that they've put up there in the Gold Coast, because the AFL keeps just wasting money on those teams, and they can waste all their money they like.
They are pouring millions into those teams to keep them afloat, and for what reason, I don't know.
Yeah, it's craziness. Although I can see why, because there's nowhere else on the whole planet they can go to.
China? Remember, they've done some work in China. Oh!
I know.
It's been disallowed.
Straight over.
Yeah, it's been disallowed. The Storm looked like they went in for a try, but there was obstruction. It's a penalty. There's 5 minutes and 41 seconds left here, and this game is 10-all.
Wow, did you see? I didn't see the obstruction.
Here we go. That's handy. Thanks for that camera angle. That showed it very clearly.
That was brilliant. Okay, here we go.
Oh, Aaron Woods is taken out.
Easy obstruction.
See, this should be a golden rule that every club should know when they're playing against a team that's got Aaron Woods in it, is don't run a decoy runner adding close to the line, because he will take the soft option and take the decoy runner and get a penalty every time. He's the best at it.
That's so funny. I've never thought of that, but you're right, hey?
Every time. I didn't mind it when he's playing at the Tigers. It frustrates the hell out of me watching him playing for other teams doing it. Goulis has dropped it.
Oh!
That's a dog's breakfast. This game is an absolute bludger. It's hard to believe these teams played in a grand final just a few years ago.
Yeah, penalty right in front. Easy too.
Here we go. Devon Head's going to have a shot at goal here, is he?
What a bludger of a game.
What's the penalty for?
I think it's just raking the ball, but
didn't he? I thought he just called hell. I don't know what's going on there. John Morris was concerned. Would you say there was a look of concern on John Morris's face? It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, hey? He's got a good poker face.
He does. Good looking fella too.
I would love to play poker against Craig Bellamy, though. Wow.
Every time he gets a 2, it's like, fuck!
I feel like you deal him his cards, and he had a bad hand. Look, he's got up and left. He's angry because they got the 2 points.
I thought the clock was supposed to stop when they're kicking goals in the last 5 minutes.
I think it's supposed to run down 40 seconds or something, isn't it?
No, I don't know what they're doing. Cameron Smith nails the penalty goal.
Easy stuff.
Oh, that assistant's gone. He's been around Craig Bellamy enough. He's going, I'm putting the earbuds in.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
I'd never want him to retire.
Nah.
I can't believe they've got ball kids wearing. They've got ball kids wearing these rubber gloves, but they don't have them wearing masks.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It's very, very
How much
odd.
would you pay to hear Craig Bellamy mic'd up just for one game?
I'd love it. And just play it after hours, like 9 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
NRL should have an adults-only channel where kids can't listen to it, and it's just Craig Bellamy going off his block for 80 minutes. Make it 90 minutes when he's in the sheds as well.
It'd be better than listening to Channel 9's commentary, that's for sure.
Agreed. 3 minutes left. Storm are up 12-10. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people they wrote the Sharks off thinking that they were going to have a bit of a dire season. I know you didn't think they were going to have much of a good year this year.
Yep.
They've had 2 pretty tough opponents in the first 2 rounds, and they've taken the fight to these sides. That was South. They almost beat them last week. And, I mean, there's only 2 points in this game with 2 minutes to go against the Storm.
Yeah, I just think... I think a lot of the things we've seen in this game, I mean, it's stuff like Sean Johnson just having a shocker all of a sudden out of nowhere, and, you know, Townsend's been a little bit quiet in this game, and I don't know, I just think that they're sort of doing what I expect them to do. I mean, they're always going to try hard, and they're always going to make you play hard, but they're a little bit like a better version of the Bulldogs, I guess, is the way I see them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've got enough strike power at the back. That's a bad pass from Townsend. That should never have been pushed.
No.
To be a genuine threat, and I think once you get a few of these rounds out of the way where everyone's still a bit clunky, you start to see them start to score a few points and stuff. They'll probably surprise quite a lot of teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make the top 8 again. Only just, though.
I had them finishing something like 10th or something like that.
See, I'm wondering how many of the teams that finished in the bottom 8 last year do you genuinely think have got better over the off season to knock the Sharks down? And I can only think of the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys are the one that stands out. I think the Broncos, and they...
Oh, the Broncos are in the top 8 anyway. I'm talking about teams that were outside the 8.
Oh, outside the 8.
Yeah.
I think the Panthers, and that might be a homer sort of decision, but, they're 2-0 so far, which is better than they were last year this time. Who else? Man, I should have got my list out. I just feel as though there's a bit of a drop back. I think the Sharks have dropped back a bit. I guess is more than other teams have improved out of sight. Is the thing that jumped out for me.
However, they don't have Paul Gallen playing in the halves all the time now. Surely that's a bonus.
That is true, but he did add some depth to their forwards. It's a funny one that, I kind of look at it too, and I've lined them up against the Bulldogs, and I've got them finishing a bit different on the ladder, but, the Bulldogs didn't make too many massive changes to their team, but I think that there is an improvement that has still happened with them, whereas I think the Sharks are almost going the opposite direction with a similar team, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing they've got to sort out is they need to get rid of Dugan, Moylan, Johnson, and obviously Josh Morris is on the way out as well. I mean, that's freeing up millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And obviously that's what their plan is over the next year or two. Who do they buy with all of that coin? Obviously they're going to need a half.
Mm-hmm.
I think their fullback, who we've seen play the last 2 games, has shown that he's already good enough, and he's only going to get better. I'd be willing to let Kennedy stay there and grow in that role.
Yep.
But
and you'd keep Sherry if you could, although there's a lot of rumours he's gone already.
Yeah, I'd be hanging on to him. I even don't mind Townsend, but I'd probably prefer Townsend at 6 and get a genuine 7 at the club who can create.
Yeah, they definitely need, alongside Townsend, someone who can control the game. I think he's all right as an offsider to your main playmaker, and I definitely think that Sean Johnson, he's shown it's just not him.
Yeah. Johnson needs a genuine 7 who can take over when Johnson's not playing well. And
yeah.
Townsend is going to give you the same solid performance every week, but it's never going to be a game-winning performance.
And it's fine. That's absolutely fine. You can win a premiership with a player like that.
Yeah, he's like a 6.5 out of 10 every week.
Yeah, and like Johnson, when he's at his best, is the ideal player to play alongside him. But the problem is Johnson's best is these days, it like every season it seems like his best number of games is down every year.
Yeah.
And what's it at now? Like 4? It'll be something like 4 games this year if he keeps that trend going.
Yeah, that's the big issue there, and I can only see Johnson ending up in Super League at the end of next year, because I think it's when his contract ends with the Sharks.
Yeah, and what a fall for him. I mean, he was the man over in New Zealand. He was $1 million player over there, and it's just gone downhill. But it's very weird.
Makes you wonder seeing how he played and how the Warriors played last year.
Yeah.
Whether they should have hung on to him for last year and let him go this year.
I would rather have had him than Green, for sure.
Yeah, I would have had Johnson over Green.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And even Johnson at his worst over Green.
Yeah, I agree. But, oh boy. These Storm boys, they're going to have a very, very unhappy time when they get back to the dressing sheds, which is why you see them all milling around outside on the ground. The commentators all come out saying, "Who wants an interview from the Storm?" They're all putting their hands up. Yeah, me. Do you want me to sign autographs? You got some kids, you got friends, I'll sign autographs. You got jumpers, I'll sign all that. I'll do all of that for you. Is there another way out of this ground other than through the dressing sheds? Do you know?
There we go. We've got some in there now. They're slowly getting in there.
That was the young guys fist bumping. They don't know what's about to happen. Storm Bellamy hasn't arrived yet. So there we go. Well, we managed to pick the shit games to commentate on, don't we?
And they played that. Yeah, we do. We really do.
That's good actually, because that means that people should actually tune in and listen to us because we're a lot more entertaining than whatever they've got on.
You'd bloody hope so. It can't be too hard if these are the games they're playing.
That's very true. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a look on the Twitter page to see if anyone has made any comment whatsoever, knowing full well that probably no one has said a single fucking word on there.
I reckon, I'm thinking maybe if we turn off the feed for the game, it might settle down the connection to
That might work. Let's do that. There
we go. Hopefully that works.
And now we ran a poll on the Fergo Freak Pod Twitter account today, and I said, live show tonight, yes and no. Votes to be ignored for no. and 50% voted yes and 50% voted for no, even though they knew that vote would be ignored.
Yeah, it was weird that it was 50-50. I thought that was creepy. 32
votes. So
not too bad.
To the 16 of you arseholes that said no, ha ha. We told you we'd ignore you. Next time you'll vote yes.
They better. It's interesting. We're starting to cultivate enough fans that we've got some pricks following us.
I'm wondering if people are starting to hate listen to us yet.
Yeah. I think we are getting hate listeners for sure. 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's the aim. To get enough hate listeners that the numbers just spike.
Now I'm going to do a tweet on here. Are you listening to our live podcast on YouTube? Didn't think so.
So what have you thought about the footy so far this season?
Ordinary.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Hey, I feel as though everything that's going on right now has... I feel like it's put a dampener on the way that teams are playing. We've seen a couple of good games, but I feel as though just the uncertainty about all sorts of stuff, and it's understandable. Like, I'm not bagging any of the teams around them, but I think that it has had an effect. What do you reckon?
I don't know. The thing I'm finding is a lot of teams are playing very average footy. So the game before this was the Roosters versus Manly, and that game was just as dire as this one. And it ended up being a Manly win 9-8.
Oh, really? Manly won that one. See, yeah. I hadn't seen the result of that one. I think I picked the Roosters for that one, actually.
Likewise. And that's the thing at the moment. I'm seeing that a lot of teams, their attack is just looking dire. And you kind of expect it a little bit in the opening rounds, but usually you'll always get one or two teams that are just... They come out of the blocks and just blow a team away.
Yeah.
And that just hasn't happened. Like, the earlier game too today, the Raiders beat the Warriors. It was like 20-6. It wasn't even like... I think given what the Warriors have gone through in the past 2 weeks and the quality that the Raiders have, that you would have thought the Raiders would have put 50 on them.
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised. I wouldn't have been shocked if the Raiders had absolutely smashed them. I feel very sorry for the Warriors. The Warriors are on a bit of a hiding to nothing this year, but the thing that worries me about the Warriors is when it falls apart for them, it falls apart really badly, and it is going to fall apart for them. Like, it's not that so much they're under so much pressure. It's just they're going to get homesick. They're going to have their minds elsewhere and stuff like that. And I know they're professional sportsmen, but they're also people as well. And they're going to be talking to their family members back in New Zealand. Even if they made the decision tomorrow to leave and go back home, they're still not going to see their family members for 2 weeks because they've got to isolate themselves.
That's right.
It's a really, really tough situation, and so I just hope that it doesn't fall apart. I would like to see them get a couple of really good wins the next few weeks, because if they don't, it's like the players themselves are going to start thinking to themselves, what are we doing here?
Yeah, like, why are we bothering with this?
Yeah.
That is the big problem. I've been loving the fact that there's a lot of people who are not Warriors fans on social media have been going out and buying Warriors memberships.
Yeah, that's been nice to see. I mean, you know, the Warriors do need our support 100%. It needs everyone's support. It needs the NRL support first of all. Yes. And I think they're going to get that. I think that it seems like the NRL have assured the club of a lot of things. I think if they hadn't have, the club would have withdrawn from the season. But yeah, it was nice to see people buying Warriors memberships, wasn't it?
It was. It's a very good thing. So I like that people are doing that. It's also good to see that people aren't going stupid about demanding refunds and stuff, and recognising that their memberships are actually helping keep these clubs afloat during this tough period. And I hope that people stick with that, because sure as shit, these clubs are going to turn around and do something in the favour of the fans and stuff to say thank you for helping us out in that tough period. They will return that favour because they have to. Yeah,
they really do. And like every single month that the clubs can just hold, even if they say we're going to give full refunds, but it'll be next year, every month they can hold on to that money and, you know, just get the interest off it. Like I think that's where some clubs will be at with how tight they're running the ship this year, in terms of like, man, even the interest from the season ticket holders will be money that we could really use, you know.
Exactly.
There'll be something they'll come up with, though. I think that everyone recognises that this is an extraordinary, you know, moment in time, and it's something that no one can expect to have been prepared for. I think we're going to be seeing that very soon in all sorts of areas of small businesses, big businesses, all sorts are going to have some real struggles staying afloat.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that's lucky for the NRL is that they will be able to have the blow softened over a number of years. Like, I could see where the salary cap was maybe lower when the new TV deal comes in, because they're trying to play catch up still on what's happening right now.
Yeah. You know, just watching some replays here. Really not much to replay here. I saw James Hood ornaments on the after match conference and chat. I don't know what he's on there for.
Is he happy?
I don't know. He's bald. Why do they put him on for post-match talk? He doesn't talk about football. He's a gossip columnist who works for New Idea, isn't he?
I reckon,
Or Mercedes-Benz does brochures for them or something.
It's weird that Fox Sports had a number of layoffs this week. The people that I saw that were talking about being let go, I didn't recognise any of them. I'm sure that if you watched Fox Sports News, you probably did, but I didn't recognise any of them.
I think one of the notable ones was Mark Gasnier.
Oh, really? I didn't see they let him go.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Gasnier's been axed, but Hood ornament remains. Why?
Well, I guess the worrying thing for me is that, I mean, obviously with the journalists, and they really have been pushing journalists forward the last few years, you know, they basically get two bites of the cherry with them, because they get them for their articles as their main job, and then they turn up to Fox Sports to, you know, get their heads on TV, which they all love.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're unwatchable.
Yeah, but New Zealand doesn't really care.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that it's a turn off for people that want to subscribe.
That's right.
What a game. What a game. It was not a great game.
Terrible.
What are your thoughts on it?
Johnson should have been off, and
Off? They should send him back to New Zealand.
Send him back to New Zealand on that plane one way.
He got hooked because he threw one forward
Look at that
pass.
eye. That eye looks really bad. Magoulias, how does it feel to be the only try scorer but the reason why the Storm won tonight for that penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a dog shit game.
I did not enjoy that game. It was frustrating and, yeah.
One or two little errors have cost the Sharks 2 wins in a row now against two good opponents.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we looking at the season? What do you reckon for the season?
For this team?
Yeah.
They're
They're
not gelling at the moment, and with what I've seen, it's very difficult to say. It's too early, but look, they can bounce back. They can probably change a few things, maybe. I don't know.
So you want really the coach then? That's what you're saying right here.
You happy with the coach?
I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm thinking I should have learnt from last week what needed to be done, but it's just not gelling. They're not gelling yet. And
Well, the defence is better.
obviously, they've done very well to defend and prevent some tries tonight, but yeah. No.
It's a hard game to get anything out of because both teams were terrible.
Well, yeah, I'd have to agree with you that, look, Melbourne missed a few opportunities to get over and drop the ball. I mean, they were both pretty bad, like really bad.
They were atrocious.
Yeah.
So it was a hard game to watch.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know who we've got next week, but yeah, who have we got next week?
Well, we'll have a quick look.
Who have we got next week?
Sharks have got the Knights next week.
Oh,
That'll be a good one to watch.
The hooker special, the two brothers.
So if the Knights lose this weekend against the Tigers, wow, that game could be an absolute snooze fest.
I was surprised that the West Tigers won last week against the Dragons. Like, how did the Dragons lose that game?
I don't know.
You know, it's just unbelievable. How do the
Dragons lose most games, though?
Well, that's true, but I can look at them losing against, say, the Panthers and be like, okay, the Panthers are one of those teams that can beat anyone on their day. But the Dragons are literally the exact sort of setup you should want to have to beat the Tigers. Big forward pack, mobile, deep. That's all you need.
No, fully agree. Alrighty. Well, I think we might wrap this one up.
Yeah.
We've done a good show.
I think we have too. I think that we should look at the next game we're going to completely ruin by deciding to go live on it, eh?
We should ask people in a poll, which game do they want to see completely destroyed by us?
Maybe the next one we can do, I don't know when they play, is maybe like Titans versus Warriors. Because we can't make that any worse than it'll be.
That would be epic.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, people, you can catch us on Twitter, FergoFreakPod. This bloke's League Freak. You can find him on Twitter at League Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. Obviously, we're on YouTube. That's where some of you may have heard us today. Check out our website, fergonthefreak.com. Check out his website, leaguefreak.com. Check out my one, rugbyleagueproject.org. I mean, that's a lot of homework. There will be a test.
We just basically own all the websites, except the ones that make money.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next time.